Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
What's up, party people? It is the last Friday before Christmas. Before Christmas. I hope everybody out there being safe. Don't be crazy. And listen, this is the biggest thing. Do not go into debt to prove to somebody how much you love them to buy them something.
You know, that's one of the best things you ever said. That's one of the most profound things, Peter Washington Evans, that you said, sir.
That's the second time you didn't put my government.
Because
these people don't even know my middle name.
Well, listen, they know it now. They're family. We love all the family out there, all the family watching us.
Give out your
Listen, it's Scott, Aaron Scott Robbins. I give it out. Government. It's okay. We family. That's what family does. But that's the most profound thing. People go in debt for Christmas, spending trillions of dollars. You know, you get the few gifts for your wife, your daughter, your family, and call it a day. You know.
Yes.
Now, are you a last minute shopper, Pete?
No, my shopping is already done, sir.
Oh, you're done. Now, see, I'm really bad. I'm a last-minute guy. I go out there.
You're horrible.
Listen, I've been out there sometimes Christmas Eve trying to get those last couple gifts. So I'm really bad with that. You know what I mean?
You're horrible. You're horrible.
I really am. I'm really bad. I'm trying to do better with that. You know, now I am doing a little bit online stuff. I did get some things online, but majority of the bulk that I need is probably going to be last-minute stuff.
All right, listen. So if people you don't know now, you already know. Hashtag no notes. I wanted to say a cuss word in there, but you don't know.
You trying to keep it light?
Curse it up.
Keep it light. Keep it tight. Okay. Curse it up, feet.
Motherfucking notes.
It's too bad.
Listen, man. If you don't know now, you know.
Oh,
We're coming to you live from the A2D studios. We got our boy Tom Arnone.
Yes, sir. On the wheels of steel.
Tracks, on the wheels of steel.
Yes,
that
sir.
I'm not saying that. You said it. I made me repeat it. I was forced. I was held against my will to say that. But listen, man. Once again, it's the Friday before Christmas, the holiday season. And listen, since we're in the giving mood, I'm going to give you my opinion. Aaron's going to give you his opinion. Everything Eagles, Wentz v. Foles, Sixers.
Oh, man.
Back-to-back. They got trashed in San Antonio. Come back and beat the Knicks. They blow them out. See where the team can add some depth. Machado was just in the building. He touched down last night. Was here for 4 hours.
He's actually still here.
Is he still here?
He's still here.
I like his haircut though. I like that.
You like the haircut?
The ball.
He just went out. He just went out like
he
probably
did leave.
like a couple hours ago. Yeah, but not long ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so but listen, maybe he'll be back. Hopefully he be back.
I think he's playing the game right now. I know we'll do hot stove. He's definitely playing the field right now. You know, he's got look, he's got 3 ladies out there, lovely ladies looking at him, and he's like, you know what? Let me just play the field a little bit.
Shout out to Tom.
White Sox is out there,
Tom
Yankees
Cordero,
and us, of course.
The union electrician worker that just happened to be in the right spot at the right time. Told man to get that money. Clint, give him a blank check like Tom Arnone has been saying since forever. Just getting the blank check, don't matter how much it costs. You're going to get it back anyway. He's going to put asses in the seats. But at the same time, don't get caught holding the bag and sit here and keep waiting.
Right.
And do like the Sixers do and say we're going to start hunting. Because truth be told, when the owner came out, Middleton came out and said, listen, we're going to spend stupid money, right?
That's what he said.
Isn't that kind of equivalent to Brett Brown and them saying we're going to start hunting and then come up empty-handed?
Yeah. Now David makes up an interesting point. Now,
we already got comments.
We do. David David says something very interesting.
Fast.
He said Harper to the Angels to win World Series next to Trout. Oh, yeah. So he's saying Harper to the Angels?
Listen, don't get me wrong. Mike Trout is I know the man personally. He's a very nice man, great guy, great hometown guy. Even with Harper, they don't have enough. They have no pitching.
The kid's out. The Japanese guy, he's out for a while with the surgery.
Yeah, the pitcher and the hitter.
Right.
But
so
listen, not just because of that. You got the Astros in that division, and you got the Mariners in that division, and you got the Rangers in that division. The AL West.
Well, the Mariners is kind of in rebuild mode. I mean, they traded Cano and a few other guys.
They just traded for Domingo Santana today.
They did.
They gave him a bag of nuts.
I mean, yeah, true. But it's not enough. I mean, but the Rangers will be back for sure.
Okay, so listen, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Who has a moniker, Saint Nick, Big Nick, number 9 for the time, Chris Long got a shrine in the locker room. So, listen, I made all that rhyme. I just brought it all back. But listen,
6, hold on yards.
Sunday night in Los Angeles, I will actually call this now dubbed Lincoln Financial West.
Okay.
LFW. We saw Nick Foles, but more importantly, we finally saw the Eagles players on defense, the offensive coordinator Mike Groh, defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, and Doug Peterson do what we always said we would do when we get in a slump. If you ever been competitive, anything, even at work, if you're having a bad day,
right,
and you've been kind of down, they all pulled collectively their heads out of their asses and put a complete game together.
Right.
And you saw what that was. Now, don't get me wrong. The Eagles played very, very well. But the Rams, dare I say, even they had the Sunday night game the week prior in Chicago. The cold had a lot to do with it.
Right.
You're thinking they had two games.
Going across country.
Two games in a row. Right. They struggled in Detroit to get the win. They got the win. They struggled in Chicago. It was cold. They come back home. It's beautiful.
Favored by 13 points.
Favored by 13.
And here's the thing. I mean, like you said something. They came together as one. And sometimes in any type of work that you're doing, you have to come together as one, all hands on deck. And this was the situation there. And I just like the fact that, as we talked about before, they came together. Al Groh, Dougie P,
Mike Groh.
Mike Groh. Excuse me.
You talking about his daddy?
And they came together. Yeah, it's all same place. Got to be such an ass, right? But anyway, but they all came together as one unit and looked and said, these are the things we need to do. We need to run the ball more, which they did. I mean, looking at some of the stats, I mean, they ran the ball over 30 times. They had 30 attempts, 111 yards. Smallwood came in, and he's been on the bench, if you will. He came in, had 2 touchdowns. Adams, those guys coming in, but most importantly, is like you said, the defense. Those front four
the
guys.
Defensive line.
Brand Bennett coming in, doing this thing, leading the team with sacks, having 8 sacks.
Fletcher Cox was the best defensive tackle on that field Sunday.
Manhandling. No, listen, he wasn't even the best. He just Now, here's the thing. And
he said, I'm going to raise the roof.
I don't know if you remember the last –
let me go ahead.
I don't know if you remember the last year they played. It was the same thing. It was like watching Deja Vu.
You heard what he said, though.
Deja Vu.
He said when he hears all this talk about Aaron Donald and he get on that same field, he kicks it into another gear. Now, he did lead the game earlier with the hip injury. Which he said was very painful, but he's working through that.
Which kind of made me nervous. I mean, I thought it was very serious. But the fact of the matter is the Chris Longs, the Fletcher Cox, the Bennetts, those guys came together and made and got to golf. Golf had a hard time back then. I mean, he couldn't, find his guys out there, and you could see just the maturation of everyone coming together in that win.
Yes, and but with that being said, that's the rosy side of it.
Right.
That's the rosy side. We saw Alshon Jeffrey get deep. We saw Alshon and Nelson Aguilar in the same damn spot. We ain't see that. We ain't seen that all year.
Yeah, it looks like they ran a streak on that. 4 streaks.
Listen, the meat. I love Jason Peters and I love Lane Johnson. You know what I mean? But the meat and potatoes of our offensive line and where we're most successful at is right in the center. Brandon Brooks, Kelsey, Wiz. We've seen Wiz and Kelsey work very, very well together, and that's where our runs went.
Right.
We were running, and now Josh Adams, people wonder why we didn't see Josh Adams after he scored a touchdown.
Right.
We didn't see him again until the fourth quarter. So apparently he's still dealing with that shoulder injury.
Right.
But look, Wendell Smallwood came in. He made the best of it. We've been seeing it from time and time again this year. We do not have a back that can get outside. So why are we running outside?
Right.
So those yards where we're going.
It's like they've kept force feeding every game trying to run that certain play. Go ahead.
So when we're wasting these yards running east to west, now Sunday night they started to go north to south.
Right.
But I told you this from the jump. I don't know where the Rams will end up in this year. But there's a chance that if everything plays out and the Eagles get the 6th seed and the Rams get the 3rd seed or they get the 2nd seed, there's a chance that the Eagles will see this team again. They match up very, very well. That's what I want fans to actually realize. Like, these two teams, they match up very, very well. Right. And Goff, listen, right now he's struggling.
Yeah,
he's struggling. He was the MVP. MVP conversation 5 or 6 weeks ago.
And why was he struggling? Because they got to him on the front four. But most importantly, I want to give a special shout out to Rasul Douglas. A lot of people aren't talking about him. He had 14 tackles in that game. He led the Eagles in the charge. Malcolm Jenkins is that glue. He's just that glue, man. You can put him anywhere on the field, and he just steps up. He had 11 tackles as well. And then most importantly, Maddox was a game changer.
A.K.A. Young Glue.
Young Glue, that's the
AKA Young.
I mean, he came in there.
How many positions he played? He played nickel this year. He played safety this year. Now he's playing outside corner.
And the thing is, you know, thinking back, drafting him, we would have never thought. Yes, he was a 3-time starter. He was a captain with Pittsburgh, but we would have never thought that we could put him in that situation, in any situation, and he could just adapt. So, I mean, kudos to him. I mean, listen, the bottom line is this, and I said this to you when we were talking before. When you start to get that momentum going and you start stringing wins together, which they did in this game, and then I'm thinking, and we'll talk about more, but the Texans game, they're going to get another win. When you start feeling and when you start believing yourself in those four walls, it trickles down to the field. And right now, that's what we're seeing. You know?
Yes. So, listen, I've already seen the comments. We got them going, people going back and forth, Wentz versus Foles.
Right.
Listen, man.
Don't forget the poll question.
What? Go ahead and tell the poll question for the
poll question: should the Eagles sign Carson Wentz to his long-term contract now? I would say yes. Yeah, get it done right now.
You got the power. If you're the Eagles, you have the leverage across the table. You get a more team-friendly deal. We see if they take it. Listen, and we'll be happy as fans, but the Eagles won't be happy as an organization. We seen what happened with Joe Flacco when the Ravens let him get to his rookie year, and it was expired the last year of his deal. What did he do? He balled out and won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And look what happened after that. They haven't been the same. If you can restrict that big chunk of the pie, your salary cap is still built. Bring in free agents and build quality players around that.
Right.
You take the chance to do it now. I understand people say he's not healthy. He's injury prone. My man, listen, had a freak injury last year with his ACL, LCL.
Right.
Freak injury. The year prior to that, his rookie year, people were forgetting that he started all 16 games.
Yeah.
And in training camp he had broken ribs. So and this is a stretch fracture. Really, the only reason they saw the stretch fracture this time is because it's starting to heal.
Right.
Like the stress what he was under and what at that time. Doug Peterson, Mike Groh, and what they were asking him to do in the offense, it was, why can't we – my biggest thing about this is when we talk about Wentz versus Foles, we have to look at it as it is. Last year this time when Foles was coming in, this was right after – this would have been the eve of the Oakland game where, let's be honest, Foles played like absolute dog shit. Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, there was that
Christmas night
with that game.
If it wasn't for Ronald Darby making that pick, we lose that game.
We lose that game.
That game. The offense could not move the ball against Oakland Raiders.
Right.
Foles looked like absolute crap, and then he got on the hot streak against Atlanta. Both games against Atlanta.
The Giants game, then the Atlanta game. Right.
In the Atlanta game, in the wild card, in the divisional round, looked like crap. Atlanta this year, listen. The reason why do you think Foles didn't want to leave?
All right, so let me address this. First of all,
who is it?
Jesse.
Don't.
Just hold on.
What did I tell you?
I'm on soapbox. I'm on soapbox. I know it's not the show, but I'm doing it here. First of all, let's just we got like 1 minute, right, before we move forward.
Okay.
I just want to say this. There was a game last week, Mr. Jesse. It came on at 4 o'clock.
I had a security guard named
Mr. Jesse. If I do, my eyes weren't playing tricks on me. Did the Cowboys play the Indianapolis Colts? Did that happen, Pete? Was that a game that just happened recently? Did you see that too?
Call the game? I thought it was a scrimmage for the Colts.
Was it 20? Did I say 23-0? And kudos to you because you called it. I picked Dallas to win, but you called Indianapolis to win that game. So Jesse, did your team get exposed?
No.
Did they get exposed? Did Dak look like what? Okay.
Listen, this is what I'm gonna say. And Jesse, far be it, we actually may sit on the same side of the table with this one. I agree with. They didn't get exposed. They got
Tell
exposed.
me why.
They got exposed. They got exposed to a point, and what the Eagles should have did. And if the Eagles see the Cowboys again, this is what they should do.
Okay.
You make Dak make decisions. You can't always give a man-to-man looks, especially with Cooper, because 9 times out of 10.
I've always said that.
Right.
I've always said that. You said that.
But listen.
Right.
Jason Garrett turned into Doug Peterson Sunday. This bitch was going for a fourth and everything.
Yeah, but the problem is, and
I don't know why. The game got out of hand. He was only down 7-0.
The issue is,
and they got a blocked field goal. They would have been down 10.
Right.
And then he came.
Right.
Kick the field goal.
Get the 3.
You indoors.
I agree with you.
You got to get the points on the road.
But what I said, and I'm going to limit back to what I said last week. In those big games, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to be prophetic what I said. In those big games, Jesse, Jason Garrett will rear his ugly head because.
And it's a redhead, too.
And it's a redhead, too. In those moments, he comes up small, okay? In those moments, Dak is going to throw an interception. Dak is not going to be able to hit Amari Cooper on that out. So these are things that's going to happen, and you guys are getting ready to sign Garrett to another contract.
And Dak.
Okay? And Dak, excuse me.
This is the biggest thing for the Cowboys is the fact that in the last –
the game wasn't a big deal.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
In the last, 5 quarters, your defense is giving up 40 points. That's the bigger concern. I mean, you got Marlon Mack until they played Sunday.
I was going to say that.
Had 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. He didn't have any game like that the whole season.
But what did they do that we didn't do? We should have did. They got the back in space against those linebackers.
They stretched them out.
And they had problems. And even though Jalen Smith is balling, he was balling before this game, and Van Der Esch, they have problems with a shifty back in space. And that's going to be. Now, listen, you got to worry about that going forward. And I don't know who they play next week. They play.
That's what I'm saying. So after this, we don't want to hear about Dallas.
Yeah, we're done with that. But who they play next week?
They play Tampa Bay Sunday. So listen,
they'll be all right next week.
They play Tampa Bay in Dallas. I will tell you this.
Okay.
If there's any more Cowboys fans or those who care to know.
Okay.
I expect the Cowboys to win. But like Stephen A. Smith said, let the Cowboys fuck around and lose this game to Tampa Bay. They will guarantee.
Giants will beat them for sure.
I guarantee you the Giants will beat them. And y'all will finish 8-8. Do not take Tampa Bay lightly. You come in with the look at the record. Jameis Winston and them, listen, you got Mike Evans. You got Deshaun Jackson. If he plays, you got Chris Godwin. And Deshaun Jackson has been a Cowboys killer. The biggest thing about Tampa Bay is they're ineffective at running the ball. But both offensive lines and defensive line is good. Their defensive line is big as shit.
They got Bo Allen. You got JPP.
Bo Allen, JPP. Right. No, the biggest thing is their first-round pick is playing now.
Who's that?
Vita Vea.
Oh, he's back.
Vita Vea is back. Vita Vea is back, and then you got JPP, you got Vinny Curry, you got Gerald. So you got Vita Vea and Gerald McCoy.
It's not a layup at all, man.
And the bigger the moment, we got to see if that can do it. People forget in 2016
we still win a division 8-8. No, actually you don't because we're going. Listen,
well, no, he's saying we're going to lose. He's probably thinking we're going to lose one of these last 2 games.
He's thinking that, but okay, we'll talk about it. Just stick with us. We'll cover the Texans.
Let's see next Friday.
We'll preview it.
Listen, y'all should close this shit up. That's what Dallas need to do.
Right.
Because if they don't win it on their home turf, it's going to be a problem trying to go into New York and do it the final game of the season. Because guess who's been sitting out? And I bet you he played last week. I bet you he played in Week 17. I bet you Odell played Week 17. If they got a chance to ruin the Cowboys season,
he may.
If it's
let me read. I don't mean to cut you short, but let me read a couple comments. Greg says yes, sign Wentz now so that you know what your franchise quarterback will cost from here and out. And he basically will help each offseason when trying to lure free agents, which is true. I mean, right now at this point, I mean, they're like you said, they're in a great situation right now. The leverage is in their favor. You know, you sign them right now. But honestly, I think Carson's going to play it out. He's going to bet him once. He's going to play one more year out and see what happens from there.
If I'm Carson, I get the money, man.
So you would just sign right now?
Yeah, but it's because when we say sign for a cheaper deal, we're talking about $30+ million or $25. It's like we're not talking. They're going to come and lowball him and offer him 20.6, which they could pick up Foles option next year. You feel what I'm saying? But so let's get to that. Let's get it back to the Eagles. My Rob Ellis moment. I always try to throw one in there every week. You know what I mean? So my biggest thing is with how the Eagles play Sunday is, dude, like why did it take now? Your backs were absolutely against the wall. Y'all putting on ski masks. Now y'all saying it's Robin season. Like y'all had Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Men in Tights or some shit.
You feel some type of – keep it real. Let's tell the family
out there. Yeah, it pisses me.
Listen, this man – now, Peter is a very analytical guy. He's the type of person, if you say – and this is – we all family.
Headset coming on?
Yeah, because you're getting hyped. But I'm going to talk to you. We family. So, Peter's the type of guy, if you say, Peter, the sky is green, or blue rather, he's going to say, no, it's green with a little bit of blue in it. He's just that type of guy. He's very analytical. And you were very passionate about the Kareem Hunt thing, and now you're passionate about the situation with Wentz, okay? You're passionate because you feel that the play calling's different. It's just a different team with Foles. Go ahead. I'm going to let you spell.
When you tag me in, I'm going in.
You going in. So he feels like it's a different team. He feels like they're catering more to what the Foles strength as opposed to catering to Wentz strength. Did I hit that on the nose?
Somewhat. Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you. You got to tag in. Go ahead.
All right. So listen. I hope none of my fans. I'm pissed the fuck off.
2 minutes.
You feel what I'm saying?
Gotta move.
Why did it?
You clapping? Why are you clapping?
Why did it take?
Wait, why? Don't clap. Don't clap at the people.
And then you sit here trying to tell me, Mike, Groh, we running the same place. Bullshit. I call bullshit. Horse shit, elephant shit, dung. Bitch, it don't matter. It's all shit.
Peter, let me ask you a question.
No, you say, let me go. I'm going.
We got 30 seconds.
So listen. You see Alshon Jeffrey go deep. Now, I understand Carson Wentz wasn't giving them man-to-man shots when Alshon had a man-to-man look. He wasn't given the chances.
Okay.
But we've seen now that it was Wentz being hurt. This is my thing.
Okay.
If I'm coming into a situation, why does Foles want to be here? Because he likes the situation. Because you know why he liked the situation? There's no fucking pressure on him.
That's evident.
He has a built-in excuse if he wins or if he loses. And he's doing it to a team where he brought them the first Super Bowl. A fan base that no matter what he does, will make excuses for him if he doesn't succeed.
Okay.
Which we already doing now because you're trying to make it seem like he on this pedestal.
Well, here's the thing, man.
You won 16 games in Nick Foles?
Right. Here's the thing.
And don't give me 27-2.
All right, here's the thing. And it's sad because, yes.
I feel divided. They make me hate Foles, and I love Foles.
Deep breath.
I don't want to feel like
Do you need a Snickers? Because you're not yourself.
I need a
anyway,
Woosah.
the thing is this. Yes, he brought us a championship. He will be always revered forever. But the problem is, you have a franchise quarterback. You have a stud. A lot of people. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Just take your time out. A lot of people don't realize that we have a lot. Well, most people do realize we have a franchise quarterback, but some people don't care. They're Foles watch. They're Foles analysts, or they just love Foles and they want Foles in there. But the thing is, at the end of the day, Wentz is your guy, man. If this, do you understand this?
Did you hit me with T.O.? Give me a T.O. That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback, man. And I feel like Deion, you got to look good, you got to play good, you got to play good, But let me go back to this. I'm saying Foles, yes, Foles does a lot for you. I understand that. But there's other fan bases that would die to be in our situation, but would die to have a guy like Wentz, a guy that's 24, 25 years old, that you're going to have for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Well, you hope to have for 10 years.
Yeah, if he stays healthy. That's a very good point.
Don't get me wrong. I have some reservations about Wentz's health, but I need to see him get a full off season where he can fully focus and train with the team and get those reps.
Right, but here's a question, though. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad. And I think we asked this last week, and we talked about it, the three of us. Is Wentz injury prone? Is he there?
No, I don't. But it's not like it's the same thing. It's not like Embiid with his foot. Like, this is just chance of shit happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be honest, right? You know why his back hurt? Because he had to carry the whole fucking team.
Well, no, he had the injury in college. He had the same injury in college, which was actually in the report. I think he had this maybe his second or third year. And upper back, yeah.
Was
it his sophomore year or junior year he had him?
So you're talking about.
I'm trying to think.
You're talking about in the thoracic part of the back. Yeah, I'm getting real with y'all. Thoracic part. This is in the lumbar region. This is on the lower back towards the pelvic area.
Right. Now the good
I think it was junior year. I think it was junior and senior. It was the rest.
Right. But the good thing is he's young. Now if he was 29, 30, 32, 33, it'll be a problem. But the fact that he's young, they can address it now, and he'll be going going forward.
He's not going under the knife, people. That's one. All he needs is rest. 2, 3, it's Matt Stafford playing with the same damn injury now.
But you see how he is, though.
But
that's the thing.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's not
because
him.
This is my thing, and I'll get into the psychological aspect of it as well. Foles will forever be endeared here for what he did.
Absolutely.
About 11 months ago, 10 months ago, on that fateful Sunday night. And more important, that flea flicker pass was still one of the best passes I've ever seen in my time. That looked like a drop from God's hands itself.
It's a drop in the bucket, man. But listen, here's the thing. When Nick Foles is on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. That's the bottom line.
So that's what I want people who, if you're really out there saying Foles first Wentz, think to yourself the 16 games of Nick Foles and how it would look. And how teams would scheme and try to take things away from Foles and get locked onto his tendencies. And I love people who say, even Mike Quick said it in the Dallas game, stop looking at Zach Ertz. With Foles would have played all 16 games, if he played to this point, Zach Ertz would have been on pace for 96 receptions. I think right now he has 100 or 101. So 4 or 5 catches difference.
Right.
When Zach Ertz is that fucking good, guess what, people? He's that fucking good.
Right. But here's the problem, though. Here's the issue. And a lot of people see this now. I mean, the issue is this. I don't know what it is, but Foles has a connection with Jeffrey. So every time Foles is in there, he's looking for him.
It was one game.
Listen, last year when we made that run,
Tom, can you please look up?
When we made that run last year,
Wentz's stats last year and hookups to Jeffrey, please, compared to this year.
Yeah, I can look it up, but I'll tell you off the top of my head, he threw to him plenty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where we looking at this at.
But there's an extra There's some type of connection though with Foles and Jeffrey.
So the first 4 games when Jeffrey came back, I think he was targeted 39 times with Wentz this year. I only want to go back to 2017 because I know he was hooking up with him.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying they didn't hook up at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
With the sample size that we're giving it is one night. And to be
Right.
honest with you,
Right,
it wasn't even one whole game because the fourth quarter, Foles played like shit.
Listen, you know what's going to happen here, right? What do we do to Donovan? You know, we made him sour on this city, right? And granted, it's something different, but we're doing the same thing to a young quarterback. Now he's going to be sour on us. Like, why do we want to do that?
But
why can't we just love both and,
right.
and be a realistic sports fan and say, well, we know who our franchise guy is, no matter what Nick does.
Right, and I agree with that. But unfortunately, that you have fair weather fans, and every fan base has that. Unfortunately, we have a lot of them in the Philly fan base.
I don't think it's
not all,
right,
and I'm not saying all because we have a lot of great fans, but you have a nice minority, which is a nice amount, that feel that way. That they're just people that's always going to be biased for Nick Foles because he brought us the championship, regardless of what we feel. That's what it is. Listen, when Carson Wentz was doing his thing, he had a decent year. His numbers were good this year.
Everybody's numbers is up, though.
But what I'm saying to you is there was people calling for Foles then.
So
that's my point.
Don't get me wrong. Has Wentz played up to the level
man.
he played to last year? No. But also at the same time, the coaching staff was different, and their mentality was different. That's the Sunday night against the Rams was the best complete game the whole team played on every facet. We had not had that. The closest thing we had to that when Wentz was playing was the two games, one against New York when they came back down from 19, and the game against Washington Monday night. You saw a more complete team. And then Dallas, I don't know what the hell happened. Doug Peterson, Wentz. Until that
was just coaching. I mean, the first 3 quarters that was coaching.
And then the fourth quarter, they put up 17.
For whatever reason, Dougie got out of his mind. He wasn't coaching the way he wasn't balanced. And he wasn't doing the things. And then finally, in the fourth quarter, it was like a light bulb went off. He said, "You know what? Let's get balanced. Let's get Wentz going." And he started spreading the ball around, and that's why we started doing what we was doing against the Cowboys.
So don't get me wrong.
It's just inconsistency sometimes with Dougie. It is.
Well, how you speak about the small minority that may actually look at Foles as a long-term answer, I think it's even a smaller subset of that minority in that group that they want instant gratification. They don't want to really deal with the fact that we won the Super Bowl last year. And I'm not saying you take this year off, but look what it took last year for us to win the Super Bowl. If I'm not mistaken, some of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league in the NFC last year
got
went
hurt.
down.
Yeah.
You see, so
yeah.
The path was paved for us to make it.
Yeah, well, listen.
That's not going to happen every year.
And that's true. But sometimes when the stars align and when things happen the way they happen, it is what it is. Now, and then plus when you get that momentum starts going and you start believing yourself in those 4 walls, like I said earlier. Now, listen, they're starting to feel like that now. They're starting to feel like that right now. They're starting to. Last year was underdog. This year it's Robin season. They're starting to come together as one.
But
and in those 4 walls, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what some other people think. The skeptics.
Oh yeah,
it matters what's in that locker room, bro.
So
that's what matters.
I'm glad you said that because this is what Tom hinted on earlier about the souring from the fans and make it went sour on us. I'm glad you mentioned those 4 walls. Okay, 2 things. Robin season. Guess what Robin season came? Robin season came when Tennessee came and stole the game from you. Robin season came when Carolina came and stole the game from you in the fourth quarter. Y'all did that shit to yourself.
I agree with
Y'all
that.
the reason why y'all in this position.
I agree with that.
That's 1.
Right.
2, I'm glad you
and they
mentioned,
know that.
I'm glad you mentioned the 4 walls and
they
being
know that.
sour.
They know that.
Chris Long, I love what you do off the field.
Right.
I love you as a man. I love you as a person, as
Right.
a human being. You're a beautiful human being and what you stand for. Where's Wentz's shrine? Why you got a shrine to Foles in the locker room?
Yeah. And you know you feel some type of way about that. You know, and that's the human, but that's the human element. Though.
But shit, I feel a certain way about it, and I'm not. It's not. He's not me.
Yeah.
You see, I'm mad because
because
I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, all right, y'all make. If I'm Wentz, I'm sitting here saying to myself, okay, for 2016, my rookie year, we rose 7-9. Okay, made some changes. Boom, 2017 come around. Bitch, we rolling. We 11-1. We rolling the Sunday night football against Seattle. We run into a buzzsaw. I throw one of the craziest fucking passes I've ever seen in my life. My knee is damn near on the ground. I throw it 60 yards in the air, and I hit Nelson Aguilar. Then I come back the next week. We stay out on the West Coast. I'm living it up. We out here partying. We go into L.A. Now they supposed to be the greatest show. They the new glitz and glamour. I tear my ACL, my LCL, and I don't come out the game because I know I'm fucked up.
You limped in, your legs hanging, your legs moving while you throwing the ball, and you throw a touchdown pass.
Can't even throw. Better yet, you just sat here and told me that Nicky Foles and Jeffrey got a connection. Who he throw the touchdown pass to when he had the broken when the ACL,
Jeffrey.
LCL?
Yeah.
That would be one Alshon.
Okay,
Okay.
that would be one outshine.
That's fine.
Okay,
That's
so
fine.
I just want to make it seem like
Okay.
people forget this shit. People forget.
Okay.
Like Wentz
That's
never threw
fine.
to Jeffrey. So when I see that,
No one's saying that, Pete.
so when I see that, so then I bust my ass in the offseason to come back in 9 months. Come back game 3 of the season. I'm sitting here. We don't have Frank Reich, who was a big piece. Not all of it was a very big piece.
DeFilippo, right?
Don't have my quarterbacks coach DeFilippo.
Right.
Don't have my running backs like I did, so that would take pressure off of me.
Right.
So more is on my shoulders, right? This little blonde-haired, big dick Nick coming here one game and got a damn strong because he played his ass off in the playoffs.
It ain't one game.
But see,
it ain't one game.
Listen.
I see your point. I
Right.
see your point. But you have to understand, Peter Evans.
Listen.
Listen. Be quiet. Listen to me. What's that song about Janet Jackson, Tom?
It's what have you done for me lately?
And that's what it is. That's what it is, bro. I understand. I love Carson. He's my franchise.
So you expect him to
Let me
swallow
finish.
that?
Let me finish, bro. Can I finish my comment?
Go ahead, man.
But at the end of the day, we live in a society where people are worried about what you're doing right now.
You missing my point.
And listen, I understand the Shrine thing. Yeah, he's going to feel some type of way.
Right.
It is what it is.
But you talking about people in society. I'm not talking about no damn society.
No,
I'm talking about his
what about
teammates.
his teammates?
That's what I'm saying. You talk about them.
No,
They not supposed to feel like that.
But right now, what they doing right now? How they feel about Nicky? Because Nicky brought him a Super Bowl.
And it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be like that, but that's what it is.
Bruh.
What have you done for me lately, bro?
And that's fucked
That's
up.
my point.
That's messed up.
I understand that, but that's the way it is, bro. It's a cruel world we live in.
So if I'm Carson, I'm gonna be on my.
That's
best.
my point.
Listen, I hate to give y'all a rude awakening, but if I'm Carson right now, I'm turning to what we gonna see.
But Carson, you and Carson, two different people. Y'all built differently, bro. His mentality's not like yours, Pete. You gotta understand that, right?
I think it was disrespectful.
It is disrespectful. I understand that, and I agree with that. But Carson may take it another way. He may channel that energy in a different way than what we might think of it.
Yeah, he might be fine with it.
That's
he
what I'm
might.
saying.
No.
He might be okay with
That's
it.
you, Pete.
So
but you're going by what you feel.
No. Listen,
That's you.
I am an overweight 36-year-old man who's unathletic as shit, and I'm competitive. Listen, let me finish.
Go ahead.
I'm competitive as hell. We said this the last time. You talking about Carson Wentz, who last year was an MVP candidate, right?
Okay.
It's 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Okay, so out of that top 10, that's 1/3 of that. He is in that. You mean to tell me he don't have competitive juices to sit here and say,
he
may channel the energy differently.
That's what I'm saying.
But very closely, that line can go from positive energy to start to be resentment.
Could be.
So
Could be.
why? So
But we don't know that though.
But we don't know. Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball.
True.
But we wouldn't even be talking about this if Chris Long never did the shit in the first place.
It is what it is, man. Ain't nothing you can do about it. It is what it is.
Bro, man, I think
it's wrong on every level, but that's where we're at right now. So what he's got to do, what Carson's got to do, he said, you know what? I got to rehab. I got to get my back.
You know how much pressure
No.
he's on him now?
Let me finish. The pressure's there. I understand that. But Carson's the type of guy, he thinks differently from us. Okay, I'm going to challenge his energy. I'm going to rehab. I'm going to get right. And I'm going to lead this team to Super Bowl. And I'm going to do it my way. That's what Carson's going to do. I guarantee you. That's his thinking.
It's so much. It's going to, as a fan base and as the Eagles as an organization are putting so much pressure on this young man. It's really, to be honest with you, it's almost Fultz-esque. At this point, from what we've seen in these past 6 days, it's almost Fultz-esque of what we're putting on Carson Wentz because this shit don't stop. Even when Nick Foles is gone, if he's gone.
Yeah,
because the pressure is still going to be there.
Let me throw the monkey wrestling. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Let's just say, by chance, we get to the Super Bowl again. Okay, we get in the playoffs. All right, because we're going to win, and we're going to talk about it in a few minutes. We're going to win on Sunday. Okay, and let's just say Minnesota does their thing, they lose, and we get in the playoffs. Listen, we're going to make some noise, and let's just say, and this is devil's advocate. I'm just putting it out there. We get the Super Bowl. Let's just say we win. What do we have now? You got a backup quarterback who won you 2 Super Bowls, but then you got this franchise quarterback that's 24, 25. Who do you sign? Do you sign that backup quarterback? What's the contract that you give him? Do you bring him back or do you trade him? What do you do?
So
you sign him, pick up the option.
I will tell you this. I don't even think. I'll say it right now.
Okay.
I'll say it right now.
Or do you trade Carson?
I think there will. I never in a million years trade.
But
unless I get
and I agree with you
completely out the water.
And listen, I agree with you. But people are saying that. What if
people can say whatever the hell they want?
What I'm saying, we're playing devil's advocate. We're just throwing it out there.
Even the people who said that they said they need at least three first round picks.
At least two for sure. At least two first rounds.
I'm not even
at least.
That's what I'm thinking. 4. I need at least 4. And that's people who may even ponder the idea of trading Wentz. But to get back to my original point, to bounce off your comment, when you talk about bringing Foles back and making them choose between Wentz and Foles, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about it last week, but we talked about it in a different context where we talked about the $20.6 million because we all three of us sat here last week and thought they were going to get their asses handed to them. At this point, this time, we were going to start talking about their draft position. That's where we were. That's where we were at last Friday a week ago.
Had a glimmer of hope. He was like had a glimmer of hope
because they do match. What Schwartz did, the way he plays defense, that's how he's been playing it all year. To be honest with you, zone. Don't put because you don't have that much talent at those positions.
Yeah,
don't put them in a position where to fail.
I agree.
But I will go on record right now and say, if they win out, okay, that 20 point, there will be a $20 million quarterback on this team next year. Whether that's Foles or whether that's Wentz, but I do think there will be
that's a tough situation
because
to be in, man.
If they pick, I don't know what the deadline is where they have to choose on that Foles option because they can always pick it up in the reconstructed deal.
It's got to be somewhere in February.
But what I'm saying to you is, we talked about our poll question: would you sign Carson Wentz to his long-term deal, his extension now?
Absolutely. We supposed to say yes.
If they decide not to do that, if they decide against that, and they bring him back on that last year the rookie deal, you have the cap flexibility,
to pick up
because
the option.
To pick up the option. Do you want that $20 million insurance?
But like you said, to allude back to what you said, you're bringing back Nick Foles, but now you put more pressure on Wentz again. Now, to be honest with you, and I hear what you're saying, is Wentz looking over his shoulder now?
He's been doing that the whole damn time.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree.
Listen,
I'm
gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, fan base. As much as we enjoyed the Super Bowl, there was a part of Carson Wentz where I
know what you're saying.
That deepest, darkest
during the ceremony,
devil of the show. Not even ceremony, just being on
during the game.
During the game, even the NFC Championship game, there was a part of Carson Wentz that thought, just lose. I want you to lose. I don't want you to do it.
You know what? And like you said, he has that. He's competitive. I understand that. And
but like you said, that's human nature.
Yeah, that's human nature. That's human nature. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's the next week or two, and 3 weeks within the month, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen going forward with the Philadelphia Eagles. What decisions do they make? Who do they sign? Do they pick up this option? I mean, it's going to be crazy, man. I would hate to be in that situation.
So I don't know. We talked about this last week, and we got into it. What's the Rams fan's name, Tom?
Oh, yeah. Where's he at? He disappeared.
Who, David?
Where's Waldo?
Oh, David's in here. He's in the YouTube.
Where's he at?
He's over on the YouTube side. What's he
Dave,
say?
come on over to the Facebook side. Let's have a discussion, my friend.
He said my Rams will win this Sunday 12-3.
So what happened?
Now he's got a low scoring game.
Time out. He just said last week that his Rams going. What was the score last week, Tom? You remember?
He gave like 10 of them. Yeah. And all got weirder.
So what is your thoughts on that, Dave?
No, we got to.
Yeah, I mean, you can comment. Chime in.
We'll reply to you.
What's the thoughts? Yeah.
So when we thought about the Rams, they didn't have a chance. If people don't know, there's a game this Sunday that, regardless, listen, I love Nick Foles. I love what he brings. But once again, he's the backup. That's why he loves his situation so much, because he has no expectations, no pressure. But this game is probably the most this situation as compared to last year, because he played the tail end of 3 games last year.
Yeah. Deja vu.
This tail end of these 3 games last year, compared to from this year to last year, it's a lot more pressure now. We need you. This is where I want. If Foles can do it this week, then I'll start. I'll never come around where I'll choose him over Wentz, but I can start to see maybe his true contributions.
He's going to do it this week.
Listen, man.
The
biggest matchup.
Book it right now. He's going to do it this week.
Okay.
And we're going to go into. Are we ready? Let's go into it, man. We got to move.
It's 8:39.
All right. Let's go into real quick.
So Texans versus Houston.
Go ahead.
Texans versus the Eagles. 1:00 Sunday. It's going to be a clear day. It's going to be, I'll say mild, but 45, right. Typical December day. Mm-hmm. The biggest matchup where I think the Eagles have the advantage in the game, and I think it's really the biggest matchup of the whole game, is our defensive line,
right? The key of the matchup, right?
and against their patchwork offensive line.
Yeah.
Because Deshaun Watson is the most sacked quarterback. It was Dakota a couple weeks ago.
Right.
But besides being the most sacked, he's the most hurried. And he likes to hold on to the ball.
And he's bad in the red zone. He's really bad in the red zone. They're horrible in the red zone.
And this is the second straight road game for the Texans coming back to the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And dare I say, listen, man, they may be without Lamar Miller. So it's hard to run on the Eagles as it is. So if you take away the running game, and we've seen when Jim Schwartz can make you one-dimensional,
right?
That makes any offensive game plan tough. But when I look at the offensive side of the ball for the Eagles against the Houston defense, I like our chances with J.J. Watt matched up with Lane Johnson and Brandon Brooks. Okay. Now that other side, Jason Peters, I need your ass to step into the fountain of youth and go back 10 years.
You may have to chip, bro. Yeah, I mean, I know we typically don't do that, but I think you may have to chip and bring
Davion
and bring
him.
Rodgers.
Oh my God!
Bring Rodgers over that area. Bring Sproles is good at chipping. I mean, just to piggyback off what you're saying, I think again the major key of the game is, and you touched on it, is that defensive line. They're not going to have an answer for Fletcher. They're not going to have an answer for Bennett. And they're not going to have.
We're both not 100%, but.
And they're not going to have an issue. And they're going to have issues with Long. I mean, just that whole crew. I think that's going to be so big. And then also, our tight ends are going to give them issues. I think the tight ends as well against their linebackers will give them issues as well. Now, on the back end, they do have Mathau, who's playing really well this year.
Who I want to say. Listen, Eagles fans, when Honey Badger comes into the stadium Sunday, give him a warm
That's right. He's a free agent this year, right?
A warm reception.
That's right.
Somebody go get a custom Mathau jersey and put his name. Listen, I don't care if you put Mascate.
Right.
We want him in the secondary next year. Please.
It would be very, very nice. But on the flip side, the offensive side, they do have Demaryius Thomas, and they do have a banged-up Hopkins. He is going to play this week for all those fantasy players out there in the championship.
This is another one as well. Congratulations to all three of us in the building because we're all in our fantasy championship.
Right. But I mean, I just think that if we get after him the way we need to get after him, if we control the clock, win the time of possession game, my spidey senses is going. I see it. Greg is here. My spidey sense. Okay, if we get if we control the clock, if we run the ball, balanced attack like we did last week. We did an excellent job last week with Smallwood and Adams running the rock. And if we continue to get Ertz involved, because Ertz he only had like three or four targets last week.
Teams are starting to take Ertz away.
Right, which they should. Mm-hmm. So in that case, you got to get Aguilar in space. You got to figure out a way to get Tate, because they're still figuring things out, how to get Tate involved in the offense. But they have to figure out, get these guys in space, Aguilar and Tate. If they do these little things, I think we'll win the game.
So Tate played 22 out of 64 snaps last week.
Right.
He was only on the field for like 30%. But he had 4 catches. He was 4 for 4, and Jeffrey was 8 for 8 with Foles. This is my thing, though. Foles plays good against Houston. Remember the game? I think the last time he played against Houston was in Houston. It was a game he broke his collarbone. But before he left the game, I think he hit Macklin on the deep out.
Yeah.
And that was with Chip Kelly. So Doug has to stay balanced. The defense, I think, will be fine. I think Hopkins will get his. He may get a touchdown or so. Yeah. I think Hopkins will get his because, for one, he doesn't create a lot of space.
No.
But his hands, he has the best hands in the league.
Yeah, he does.
I mean,
very strong. His hands are very strong.
Two hands. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he can catch a lot of contested catches. Right. Just like Odell, Jarvis Landry, we've seen that. Right. But Hopkins, he just brings something. Now, Demaryius Thomas isn't
right.
who he was in Denver.
He's a shell.
He's a shell of himself. Mm-hmm. I mean, but quiet as kept. We can't sit here and act like Deshaun can't hurt you.
That's what I was getting ready to say. We have issues against running quarterbacks, Mariota and some of the other guys we played before. So with that being said, who are you spying? Because you got to spy.
You don't have to spy because I think Jim Schwartz will play a lot of zone because guess who's back? He's full participant. Two players are full participant.
Yes, Hicks. Yes,
Hicks was full participant and Timmy Jernigan was a full participant.
Now, they didn't. Did they say? I know Hicks is definitely playing. Did they give a green light on Jernigan?
It looks like
said it yet.
It looks like
they haven't said it. Right, they haven't said it.
It's iffy. But see, that way you still have Nada and you still have Hector because, like I said, Lamar Miller may not play. I'm not scared of the offensive line. Pass blocking,
dominate that, right?
Pass blocking us or run blocking us.
And by the way, Nada, I'm glad you said that. Nada, man, listen, considering that people thought he was done throwing in the towel, he looked pretty good in that last game against the Rams, man.
Everybody looked good against
the Rams. He looked really good, man. He was getting up the field really well, getting to side to side on the field. Had an excellent game. He had an excellent game, man.
ultimately, I think we both are picking the Eagles to win.
Absolutely.
I think it could be a close game, but I also think I can't see them blowing the Texans out. The Texans don't play well on the road. They had to come from behind last week, Saturday,
Against the Jets, yeah.
against the Jets. So, but they know they're coming into a buzzsaw. Dare I say, this may be one of the most hostile environments Deshaun Watson has ever played in. It's tough to play here when you're a second-year quarterback. So we'll see that side of it as well, see how he'll be able to handle that. But I like the matchup as well. I love Doug Peterson against Bill O'Brien, but more importantly, I love Jim Schwartz against Romeo Crennel.
Now, another interesting stat I saw, when in the beginning of the year they were throwing the ball a lot more than they should have, and that's why he was getting sacked a lot. Bill O'Brien actually said when they actually throw the ball under 25 times a game, they win most of all their games. They won all the games, throwing 25 times a game with Watson. So they're going to try. That's why it's really, really key to find out if Miller's going to be out or not. If Miller's out,
well, he left the game early. He has an ankle injury. So
if Miller's out, then that's really big because then they're going to put a lot more of the shoulders on Watson as opposed to ball control, run the ball with Alfred Blue and Miller. So that's big.
We'll see. I mean, it's going to be a tough one. But listen, man, if the Eagles, if they start to get to that point halftime and they start to see maybe Dallas may be losing, by chance maybe Detroit shows up and plays a complete game and they can still win from Minnesota, that's just going to energize them even more. Yeah. And then next week you control your destiny. But I just want to prepare people. There's a very rare scenario to where the Eagles can still win out and finish 9-7, and they still don't get into the playoffs.
Possibility.
Because Dallas only needs to win 1 and 2. No matter how we look at it, no matter how much we think they're going to choke, but they only need to win 1 or 2. Yeah. Minnesota. Yeah. Listen, they have a very winnable game Sunday in Detroit. Detroit has nothing to play for, so you don't know what kind of team you're going to get. Right. And then that game against Chicago next week, I was telling Aaron, this is a scenario. This is a scenario. So Gurley is a game time decision. Chicago at this moment right now still has a shot at the second seed to get in the first round bye. Right. Okay. If Gurley's a game time decision, he doesn't play. Arizona, the Rams are in Arizona. There's a chance that they've already talked about Steve Wilkes not even coming back next year, one and done. Yeah. So you have their defense. Arizona's defense is legit. Right. Their defense is legit, but they don't really have offense.
Can't get nothing going on offense side.
They got David Johnson.
They're not using him properly, man.
They got David Johnson, but it's the offensive line. Right. But what did we see? What did we see the Eagles do to Goff? Goff he's looking at the rush. Yep. He's not executing well. Yep. And if you take away
those guards are Swiss cheese.
Right. So
and
Chandler Jones is one of the best defensive linemen in the league at rushing the passer. Right. So if you take Gurley away, okay,
put the pressure on Goff. Yeah.
We put the pressure on Goff, and Arizona has a chance. I know David's in there as a Rams fan. He may start chiming in if he's still with us, but Arizona has a chance.
I don't see him.
So if Chicago wins, I think they play San Francisco, which is not an easy game for them either.
Not at all.
Because fucking Kyle Shanahan had to sneak up on that ass. You know what I mean?
And that defense, man, they churning, man. They got some pieces over there, man.
Defense, so it's going to be tough.
Pieces over there.
But so you want Chicago to win, and you want the Rams to lose.
Right.
The reason why that is because the last game of the season, Chicago is playing in Minnesota, and you want Chicago to have everything to play for and leave it all on the field.
To try to get that second seed.
To try to get that second seed. If that second, if the Los Angeles Rams lock up that second seed by this time next week, by this time next Sunday. Right. Because after that, I think they play
the Rams
playing San Francisco again.
San Fran
again. But I think it's in San Fran. Yeah. I think it's in San Fran.
So, I mean, listen, there's a lot going to happen this week. There's so much, like you said, they're going to be playing the game. They can see all this going on all at once. So, I don't know, man. I mean, that's what makes the NFL turn, man. That's why it's the number one product, because there's so many different things going on,
The biggest thing is the Eagles need to take care of their own business. Obviously, the reason why, this is why I understand fans were in the moment, but you have to think about this. The reason why they're in this position, you needed one of those two games.
Tennessee game or the Minnesota game, right?
No, not the Minnesota game too. They gave it to Minnesota. The Minnesota-Carolina game. If you had that game in your back pocket, right now you sitting at what? 8-6. So that means you only need to win one of the next two games. Right. Look, and this is the thing, the microcosm of the Eagles season. Look at the teams that they've lost to. They lost to Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota now is 7-6-1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Tennessee. They lost to Tennessee. Tennessee's 8-6. They got an outside shot at making the playoffs, but the schedule for them just lined up. But the biggest one, look at fucking Carolina, man.
Yeah.
They were 6-2 after they came back on y'all in the fourth quarter and put up 21 points. Yeah. They have not won a fucking game since and won't win one because now Cam is on the shelf.
Cam is on the shelf. And that's another, I mean, that's a whole different topic. I mean, I don't think his shoulder's going to really be back, man. It may be 60, 70%. Because the severity of it, you know what I mean? So he may not be Cam Newton again.
So when you look at that, it's like, damn it, we got to pray for. Now it's different.
I mean, listen,
you need one thing to happen.
Hey, listen, hoping and wishing it happens. We're in a situation.
It is the season.
We're in that situation right now. It is what it is. But the main thing is that if we take care of business like we need to, and we start clicking, which if we do anything, and if we emulate anything from the last game, and do the same thing in this game, and we start, and I said, like I keep saying, I'm going back to the four walls, man. These guys believe in themselves, man. You're gonna see it. You're gonna continue to see it, and we're gonna roll in the next game. And we'll win that game. I'm not
even concerned with Josh Johnson and Washington Redskins.
And we're gonna roll. Like I said, we're gonna roll into that game and win that one as well.
I almost said the name. The Washington Dickhead Snyders. That's what I call it because I don't understand what goes on in DC. I just think when you in DC, I just think you can do whatever you want because the Capitol Hill is so close. That's another subject.
We're not going there. But anyway.
So Pickem, we got Tampa Dallas real quick.
Right.
Tampa Dallas. As much as I want in my heart Tampa Bay to win, I just find look, Dallas is too much. They can run the ball. Tampa Bay has a hard time stopping the run.
Right.
But you never know with James Winston. But I got to pick Dallas in that game.
So you got Dallas.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, I hate to say it, you know, and I hate to say it. I don't want to say it, but I just think Dallas is going to get off the snide this week. I think Zeke's going to have a really big game, 150 yards. I don't know if he's on anybody's fantasy team, but he's going to have a big week. And I think that's going to do enough not to lose the game because that's what he normally does. Right. And they're going to win this game. I got him winning by 7. I got him winning by actually 14.
Yeah, I think the spread was 7.
Yeah, I got him winning by 14, so I would take that.
Then we have Indy hosting the Giants, and this is not so much. I think Indy will win the game. There's three teams that Eli has never beat.
Okay.
He hasn't beaten the Chargers, the Giants, and the Saints. All three teams that he has some type of connection to because who played for the Colts?
Peyton.
The most pushed down your throat quarterback ever, and that was Peyton Manning.
Right.
So I think the Giants have played better than they played last week, but I think the Colts get a win.
Yeah.
Other big game.
I totally agree. Let me finish. I agree with you. I think the Colts, you know, they just have too much going on. You know, luck is clicking. Ebron will have a nice big game. He'll have a couple touchdowns. I don't know if you got him in fantasy as well. And listen. I do. You do?
Yeah.
You should be having a good day, man.
Hopefully, I need.
So
this.
I got the Colts winning by at least 10.
Okay.
Least 10.
So then let's get to the two biggest games of the week besides the Eagles, because there's a lot of bullshit games this week where it's a hard week to bet really because you have a lot of teams this time of the season that don't have nothing to play for, so you don't know whether they're gonna show up or they're gonna bitch up.
Tanking, yeah. You don't know.
You're going to SUB, you show up or bitch up. You don't know which one you're gonna have. So the other two biggest games that actually have meaning. Three.
Okay.
There's a Saturday game, Chargers-Ravens. I like the Chargers in that game. Even I think it'll be tough. I like the Chargers in that game. But Steelers-Saints in New Orleans, and that's at 4:25.
Okay.
Saints haven't been looking good.
No, but they're at home. They got that home cooking. And they on that fast track, man. I just think I don't know what it is, man. There's a lot of rumblings in Pittsburgh, man. A lot of Pittsburgh fans, and I don't know if you looked at the last game. If you saw Dan Rooney sitting in that booth, man, the way his look on his face, I think if they don't make the playoffs, which is
they should make the playoffs.
No, not necessarily, bro. Not necessarily.
They don't make it, but they should.
Not necessarily. The Ravens are still clicking on the heels. If they don't make the playoffs, I think Tomlin's going, bro. So with that being said, I'm going to say I got the Saints routing them by at least 17 points.
I don't see that, and I'll tell you why I don't see that. It's because that turf makes you fast. Right. On a neutral field, the Steelers' offense is faster than the Saints' defense.
Absolutely.
Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, and them boys. At James Conner plays, that'll help a lot. So you put them on that turf, it's a matchup problem for the Saints' defense. It's a matchup problem. Ben Roethlisberger is one of the best protected quarterbacks in the pocket. Even with that being said, New Orleans is just different. There's something about it that's just different. When they get in that, like I feel they got people watching over them in that stadium. And this is why I say this. This is what separates the good coaches from the great coaches. Sean Payton has seen his team struggle for the last 3 weeks. And I think he's going to light a fire under their asses.
They're due for one.
They're due for
one, bro.
But it's still
That's
gonna be
the
tough.
bottom line.
I mean, I'm picking the Saints to win the game.
It'll
be close.
It'll be tight.
I think it'll be close.
But I'm saying they're going to win by. It's going to end up. They're going to end up winning by 17.
So you're saying they may get a turnover late, like a pick six or something like that.
It's going to be very tight. It's going to be very tight. But at the end, they're going to win by 17. But like I said earlier, they're due for one. And I think when you struggle so many weeks, man, you know what I mean. You see it. You see what's going on. Sometimes, like you said, lighting that fire, man. It really makes a difference, man. And I think that with the home cooking, you know, Tyquan Smith hasn't had a big game in a while.
You know who the Saints
you know what I mean?
missed the shit out of Ted Ginn, man.
Oh yeah,
they don't have that. It's just like the Eagles. You don't have that person to stretch the field. You don't have that person to stretch the field. I mean, Michael Thomas can only do so much. He can only create so much separation. He's not a great route runner, but he's great.
He's a possession wide receiver.
Right. He's great on those 50-50 balls. You know what I mean? So he can do that. Kamara's going to be the X factor for them, and if the Saints can run the ball, that's going to be the big key for them. Sunday night football, it's another one, and I think this has not so much just the teams, but where the game is at.
Okay, who's that?
That's Kansas City and Seattle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all seen the wizardry of Pat Mahomes, who I think should win MVP. You know, so
he should.
We see that, but listen, Eagles fans, we know Andy in these big moments, man. If shit don't go his way, and look, Seattle just lost in San Francisco. Seattle needs to win this game to get in. They need to win to get in.
Yeah, because if they lose this game, they have 7 losses. I mean, and then I'm not sure who they played the last game.
I think it's Arizona. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but listen, for Seattle, Pete Carroll's a defensive coach.
Right.
You seen last week the defense get ate up by San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan.
Right.
He's just a Seattle beater. I mean, how many times on Red Zone were you watching where Seattle pinned the San Francisco 49ers back inside the 5?
Yeah.
And then the next 2 plays, you got the San Francisco 49ers, they out by the 30 or the 40, almost damn near midfield.
But with all that being said, I'm going Kansas City, man. I just think that's fine.
Do it.
You have your thoughts. I have my thoughts.
No,
I just feel. Yes, Kansas City is the better team, and I just feel Big Red, even though he was inept in a lot of times throughout the years, I think this week they're going to figure it out, and I think Mahomes is just going to get it together. Damian Williams, some of those boys, he's balling right now, and I just think that we're going to see a big game from Hill. And I just see them winning this game.
I hope say a big game from Hill. I'm going to get some of my fantasy.
I think you're going to be a little upset because I see a big game from Hill. I think they're inexperienced with the quarterback on the quarterback area. In the cornerback area, they are in the area. They are with Griffin. Who's the other guy they have? Griffin and.
It don't matter. I'm just. Okay,
Hill's going to have a big game. All right, I know you don't want to hear that, but that's what's going to happen. I have them winning by 7 points.
Wrap this up. So I can go.
You are the long-winded one. You talk all the time.
Because I'm the better one.
You're the better one? You're the better one? No, I doubt that. I doubt that.
So
are
you done now?
Are you done?
I didn't start.
Finish. I'm done. If you would listen, I said I got to win it by 7. That's because you talk so much.
Okay, so listen.
You didn't get a lot of attention when you were a kid. That's all right, though.
So they are the better team, Kansas City. But what we just talked about in New Orleans and that dome, that field, CenturyLink Field, is a different environment, man.
Very true.
It's and listen, I love Pat Mahomes. This is his first time ever being in that environment, but we also see, I can't stress it enough, we've seen Andy in that big environment too. What happens most of the time?
He's in there at times. He is.
So when you
however,
and this go ahead.
I just think I see them winning this game, man. I just have that feeling they're gonna pull this one out.
Kansas City has a hard time stopping the run. So you're going to get a heavy dose of Chris Carson.
Eric Berry is back, though. Don't forget that part.
He's a safety.
They use Eric Berry a lot. Do you watch the games?
So listen,
they use Eric Berry a lot in the run.
So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You bring Eric Berry down, right? What do we see? Because Seattle's offense isn't that elaborate, right? We know this.
I understand that, but you have Park up top to cover, and Parker's good enough to help out on the back end. I watch their games.
Russell Wilson is elusive as hell.
I understand that.
So we see Tyler Lockett, Tyler Lockett on Orlando Scandrick. Orlando Scandrick can't run.
Okay, I'll give you that.
You know what I mean? Doug Baldwin, great route runner. Not fast, but great route runner. Who they going to have to cover him? See what I'm saying? Then you also got
Fuller. Fuller's decent.
You also
Fuller's decent.
Fuller's the best corner that they have.
Fuller's decent.
And then you also got D Moore. You see what I'm saying? So when I look at that in that environment on that field, anywhere else, anywhere else, any other site, any other stadium, Kansas City all day. But for what the game means.
But let me say this to you. on the flip side, let's talk about their defense. They have Houston on the other side, and they have the big guy, Jones. They're going to have a problem.
I hear you.
The Seattle Seahawks lineup will have an issue with Jones. Jones is doing his thing.
But I think it's just
in the middle.
It's more even than what you give it credit for.
No. That's why I said 7 points. If you're not hearing me, I said
7 points is a lot.
Not
for
necessarily.
a road, 7 points for Kansas City to beat Seattle by 7 points. That's a lot.
If the game is tight in the last minute or so, and Seattle and Kansas City scores to win the game by 7 points, it can happen.
I just think Seattle has more to play for because they need to win to get in.
I agree with that.
Kansas City's already in.
I see that, but
Kansas City
think Kansas City wins by 7.
Kansas City is coming off a loss in a heartbreaking fashion on their home field, and the biggest thing is Seattle's coming off a loss as well. That's why I think Seattle's going to be ready and hungry to win. In that environment, we've seen it. The best player on any side of the ball, the best player on defense for any of the teams is Bobby Wagner. And he just happens to play for
Absolutely.
Seattle.
I agree with that part.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
And Kansas City, they've been, I can't say ineffective at running the ball, but we talked about this with Big Red before. If you're not a premier talented running back, he's not going to go to you on a consistent basis. And on Sunday, that can get their ass in trouble.
We'll see, man. That's why they play the game, man. I mean, we're just giving our analytic thoughts.
What is the Monday
night
game?
Pick. I have a pick. It's horrible. It's the Raiders and the Broncos. Let's move forward.
Okay.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So listen, before we get out of here, I don't even know if we have a YGTG this week.
Yes, I have one. Alan Maloney. I don't know if
I
don't know if you guys heard about it.
Yeah.
The referee.
Buna referee.
You want to let me do this?
Okay. I just said Buna referee.
No, he's about to cut it again, as usual.
Yeah, are we not a team?
Yeah, we're a team, but you always cut in. You always do. You just keep going. You don't stop.
You sound like Carson.
You like the
I'm
Energizer Bunny.
Foles right now. Play your position. Stay hurt.
Anyway, whack. Anyway, Buna referee. I'm sorry, Buna high school referee. Al Maloney was actually refereeing the Buna high school referee game, and he actually made the young man, cut his dreads. He either had to cut his dreads or he couldn't wrestle. He had to forfeit the match.
So let me just clean this up for you real quick. Al Maloney is a ref. They were at a meet. That's what they call these wrestling things, not a match or a game. It's a meet. So they were at a meet. Okay.
You know what? So when you were a child, you didn't get enough attention, did you? I could tell.
And if my mama heard you say that, you gonna have to deal with it next time you say it.
I just say because you just do stuff that's just, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't have to clean things up. So
no. Go ahead.
The wrestler, the Buna wrestler, I think his name was Adam Hutchinson, if I'm not mistaken. He had wrestled 2 times before, and wrestlers with long hair, you can wear match-approved a cap. So the Buna wrestler had the cap on. This referee, Mr. Maloney in this case, had said, listen, either you forfeit the match or you got to cut the dreads off.
And there's reports that he's a little racist. Like
not a little, brother.
In the past, he has been racist to other wrestlers.
Nah, I don't think you can be that little. Nah, that's one thing.
Oh, he's racist. Let's just say he's racist.
And they said at a previous official conference he had used some racial terms, some bigotry terms. So it's being looked to. That athletic division, the athletic commission is already moving ahead and doing the right thing. They suspended Mr. Maloney. He's not participating. So I don't know. I don't know. Well,
it's despicable. The bottom line is despicable. He's got to go. You just can't do that, man. You know, and especially if he's been wearing this cap over his head to cover his he has dreadlocks.
Yeah.
So he's been wearing it for a while, and then all of a sudden he's the only referee out of all the referees that he's been wrestling to say you can't wear that.
I saw somebody write on a buddy of mine's post about that because his friend had to worry about it when they wrestled and back in the day, and they said that about the cap, like as long as you had the cap, you were good to go.
Right.
But then somebody was saying on that post that now like it doesn't matter if you have the cap because the cap's got to be part of like the headgear or whatever. So if it's not part of the headgear, then whatever. So, but the fact of the matter is, he's wrestled this long doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. You wrestled this long doing it.
Right.
And it's twofold. If it's a rule, well, guess what? Your coaches need to be better at it.
And that's
right.
The thing.
And then if it's not a rule, then regardless, this dude's a scumbag. The referee's a scumbag.
But here's the thing: when they did the weigh-ins, that should have been addressed then. That's somebody's post.
You're gonna wait till somebody You're gonna wait till the kid gets out there.
If it was addressed then I can say, okay, you know what? I can't wear it. I got to do something then. But to address it when he's actually getting ready to wrestle. That's despicable.
Well, you know what they say? Like I've done softball, like umpired softball and baseball and all that stuff. But it's like, I don't want you to know I'm there.
Right.
Makes sense. Like, I do my best job if I don't know you're there. Now, if a rule's a rule and I have to call a rule or whatever the case may be,
right,
you got to do what you got to do. But, like, that's just – what the fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with people?
Like you said, Allen, in this way, inserted himself into the match, similar to what – when we go back to, what was it, the U.S. Open final with Serena Williams.
Yeah.
The umpire inserted himself and made, not so much, he didn't even mean to make it about him, but now the story's talking about him. We're not talking about the kids.
Yeah.
In that situation, we're talking about Serena. And the girl won. I can't even remember her name.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
So, but needless to say,
he's got to go because, I mean,
you can't have these type of prejudice in this form. And you can't do that. You can't do that.
And I mean, it's got to be decorum. I mean, like I said, like if he would have did it before the match, then that would have been okay. But and it's just the way he did it. It's got to go.
So before we get out of here, I just want to wish everybody out there, from everyone here at the A2D family, a very, very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, holiday season. Spend time with your family. Don't go broke. And then I'm also sending prayers to Josh Gordon, man. I hope you get right. Not so much for the talent on the field, whatever you're going through, anybody out there.
Just in general.
Anybody out there who goes through anxiety and you can't handle it on your own.
Or mental health. Also.
On mental health.
And also, just to cut in, Martavis Bryant's about to get suspended as well. Same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, mental health is very serious, man. Mental health. And Kevin Love touched on it from the Cleveland Cavaliers, touched on it this year. Mental health is very, 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 very big. People got to start taking that thing serious, man.
Take that thing serious and talk to people. I'm not going to lie to you people. I myself had suffered from anxiety and mild depression. I wasn't feeling so good today, even on my way up here. Just kind of feeling like blah, angry at the world, feeling empty, not having no motivation to do anything, not want to do the show. But listen, man, you guys out there who watch us, you comment, you interact, that's why I do it. It fills me up. I feel better now. But if we got a regular old Joe Schmo like myself who punches the clock in blue collar 9 to 5, and I'm going through it, and I don't have the pressure, just outside of my family providing, but I don't have a fan base who lives through me, vicariously through me, and brings happiness or they're sad when I'm sad. When we lose again, they're sad. So when you have these players on these platforms who have that much going on with all these other problems, it's just hard. And I hope the league, even if the players can't play on the field anymore, I hope the league still finds a way to support these young men and their mental health. And that goes for all leagues, because you're not just seeing this mental health issue in football,
basketball,
you're
baseball,
seeing it in basketball, baseball, the whole nine. And there's a lot of people out there who are going through it, who may be afraid to talk about it or share their emotions or just speak to someone and let them know what they're going through, because it is not the easiest thing to do. But listen, man, I go through it. I reach out and I talk. Anybody, you can hit me up. I'm not.
And what's sad, man, is that just on the football side, he's so talented, man. Honestly, if he kept playing, if he actually played a few full seasons, later on down the line, he could be in the record books. I mean, the way, because some of the stats he was, rearing up. But it's just sad. But like you said, this is more than football. This is bigger than football. So hopefully he gets better. Hopefully he gets the help that he needs. But hopefully once he gets the help, he needs to be an ambassador, be a face for that mental health, to go out and speak to the kids and help the kids that might be, playing football or basketball, whatever the case may be, or just in life, and talk to them and help them to get better and go forward.
And that's really, to be honest with you, we always talk about pass the buck. You'll see you just pass it on, pass it on, pass it on. Yeah. It was somebody who talked to me that was going through what I was going through, and all I'm trying to do now is share the story with you guys and just pass it on. Because there's always that some person, it may be a complete stranger, in that pivotal moment in that time in your life where you just need somebody to talk to, that's just going to say that right thing, that's just going to click.
All right.
And hopefully most people get that. So with that being said, season's greetings, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Mr. Arnone, take us up out of here.